So Advent is just around the corner. It's just amazing to think that it's dawning on us once again. Advent is an interesting time, right? Because on the one side, it is the world around us preparing for the Christmas holidays. And we often talk about that we're preparing for the coming of Jesus. Well, yes, we are preparing for the coming of Jesus in Advent. But not just that Jesus appears as a little baby, because that baby already came, right? 2,000 years ago. So Jesus already came. Advent, at a very spiritual level, is placing our eyes on the Jesus that's yet to come. The Jesus that will come at the end of time, the Jesus that will come at the end of our personal time, our own personal time, and really also the Jesus that comes to us day in and day out. Advent is definitely a time of hope and expectation of what we await in the coming of Christ into our lives, who comes daily. And at the same time, we have to compete with a lot of noise. Visual noise, as Christmas lights are up all over the place. We love them, but it's noisy. And then the noise of shopping and the noise of, and it kind of wears on people. And it's interesting, since the Christmas holidays have become longer and longer and longer, I already have seen, right, that the Christmas decorations went up before Halloween, right? And so it becomes longer and longer and longer. And then I start hearing my friends who will say, oh, I can't wait till the holidays are over. When we should be saying, I hope they never get done, right? They never end, because it has become noisy. So how do we prepare in the midst of all that? I think finding quiet space, quiet time, so that we could look at the things that are deeper in our hearts and where the Lord is calling us this particular Advent. I'm 62 years old, so I've been through 62 different Advents. Advent in reality in and of itself doesn't change. I've changed 62 different times. So the question that we could ask in those quiet times is, where does Advent 2023 find you today? Advent in the church is a time of conversion, a time of penance. So here's the question. Where in our lives have we gone well? Have we done well? Because that's as true as anything else, right? So I always like to begin with the positive. Where have we hit it out of the park? Where have we done well? And where can we do better? Advent is a time to prepare our hearts by just going back to the fundamentals and seeing where we've been in the last year and where we're going and what needs to be better. It's about penance. It's about conversion. That's why the church places this before us. That's why the vestments of the priest change in color to a penitential color, to remind you and I that yes, this is a time of change, of good change, so that we could deepen our love for the Lord, our love for each other, and our love for ourselves as well. I don't have any particular prayerful practice in Advent other than to spend quiet time, trying to find quiet time in the midst of the noisy world around us and the busyness around us. I see almost a stark difference, right, in Advent inside the church and then Advent outside the church, right? Advent inside the church is calling us to reflective prayer, a certain silence, a hopeful silence, an expectant silence that something wonderful and great is about to happen. Advent outside of the church, outside the church walls, is a little different, right? Because it's a rat race to go and buy things and prepare for things, and we're busier than ever, and people are rushing around, going here and going there, where the spirit of Advent inside the walls of the church and the walls of the heart is calling us actually to settle down. So I think settling down in a quiet, prayerful, reflective way, in general, would be what I look forward to in Advent. Tough to do in the midst of all the noise. During Advent, we're waiting. We're waiting with hope, with expectation, to a Christ that's already here, whose birthday we commemorate. But Christ is particularly here in the poor, in those who are in need, whether it's physical poverty or emotional poverty or even moral poverty. So who around you is poor? I know I'm poor in some of those areas, right? Who around us is poor? Because definitely Jesus came to us as a poor child, born in a simple manger, in the middle of nowhere. He came in that simplicity and in that humanity. So who's around us, you and I, that we might need to reach out to as a presence of Christ in our midst?